Hi guys. Well, today I'm cooking in the kitchen. I'm making a macaroni salad, a homemade macaroni salad to share with the family today because we're getting together at my mom's house. And I decided, you know what, let me just go ahead and do some filming and share you guys. It's a family recipe and some of you may already make it this way, but I just figured why not. So let's get you guys and part in the kitchen because this is not prim and proper. This is not an studio. This is just my home, and my kitchen counter is a disaster, and I worked yesterday, and it was a really long day, so yeah, that's life. So here we go. Okay, so what you need, I have a pound of macaronis that I boiled on the stove, and I have some still that are cooling. So you just want to cook them until they're about al dente, right? Because you don't want it super soggy. You want them to still be firm. So when you're mixing it all up, and then we're going to chill it, right? So then I just had some shrimp because we put shrimp in ours. And I just threw away the bag, so I'll be glad to show you. See, just some Kroger cooked shrimp. I like the cooked ones with the tail off already. It's easier to do. And then you'll notice these are the little shrimp pieces, and on my cutting board, some of them still had a little bit of those tail pieces, but there was no shell, but I cut those off. And I took the actual shrimp pieces themselves and cut them down because then it just makes more pieces of shrimp inside the macaroni salad, okay? So now I will include the recipe, but this is just a family recipe that we're gonna use, and see if we can do this while I continue to cook here. See if I can get you guys in a spot where you can still see pretty good. Let's see. You gotta work with me here. All right, so I've got my macaronis. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of these noodles in. Now, as far as how soon can you prep these, you can very well. My intentions was to cook it last night because actually the next day, in my opinion, is the best day for taste. As long as you can get it in the refrigerator so that it chills, I would say at least a good 4 hours because you really don't want to eat hot macaroni salad, you know. It is summertime right now, and I'm sure most people eat this primarily in the summertime. So I'm just stirring together the hot noodles with the already kind of chilled ones that were sitting in there. And now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of mayo. So get my mayo. Yes, they're kind of heaping, you know, like I said, it's not a perfection recipe. If you feel like you need to add more, add more. If you use more than 1 pound, so that's why I had a second part draining, is because I cooked 1 pound box. I was like, our family's big. When we're all together, there's 18 of us. And so I was like, I had probably a half a pound in another box that was left from a previous recipe. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and add those in as well. So that's why I had the extra noodles sitting in the strainer just a few moments ago. So just mix it all well together. You want that mayonnaise to get really mixed in with the noodles, give it a good coating. I don't know if you guys can see very well as I'm mixing it in. And yeah, you like my big old mixing bowl? I have had this Halloween bowl, I'm not kidding you, since like 2005, like a really, really long time. That I got it for $1 at the Dollar Tree back in the day. And I used to do Halloween parties all the time. And so it's amazing. I just use it as a massive big mixing bowl when I need to do giant recipes, and it works. So whatever works, like I said, I'm not super fancy in this department. I'm more practical. Okay, so here we go. So everything's nice and coated pretty good. I hope you can see that well. So now you can stir in the shrimp. You can gradually add it, stir it in. Now, when I did the shrimp, it was frozen, and so I just put it inside. I actually use that container, but you can put it in a bowl, anything you want, with warm water, and let it thaw down. And then it will be soft enough to cut. So you can be sure that you don't have the tails on, because nobody likes to eat them. and then cut the entire shrimp down into individual pieces so you get more shrimp inside your salad without spending more money. And people don't really care if it's a big, regular shaped shrimp. They just want to taste the flavor of it. Okay. Voila. Woo. That's in there. Now, what we're going to add is, let me get my measuring spoons. Okay. We are going to add 1 teaspoon, let me get my 1 teaspoon of onion salt. I'm just using regular onion salt. And you know, my onion salt kind of has some clumps in it, so I will unclump it. Declump it. Let me stir in. And you want to keep stirring and gradually add and stir and gradually add. That way you make sure all of it gets coated well. You know, you don't have an abundance of flavor in one spot. I am not a super chef by any means. It's taken me many years to learn tricks and techniques. And when I watch those who cook, you know, say, oh, just throw this in. And I'm like, what? That's like not normal for me. I love to watch the baking channel. I love to watch like the Halloween baking championships and the Christmas baking championships. It just, you know, sets the mood. I have never made any of those recipes, but I do love to watch them. Stirring it around some more. Make sure it's mixed in well. If anybody has tips on how to keep your onion salt from getting into a clump, be sure. I mean, it's stored in the house. It's not like it's in a high humidity area. Although I live in the South and it's high humidity in the South. All right, that's the end of that. Just mixing in some more. Okay, next ingredient we're gonna add is garlic powder. Same thing, just a teaspoon. Same principle. Gonna sprinkle it all around. Gradually work it in. Okay. Continue to work it around, make sure it's mixed in well. Don't worry, we'll do a taste test at the end. All right, looks like it's blended in pretty well. Now, third part is gonna be celery seeds. Celery seeds. They taste really good. There's a lot of health benefits in celery seeds. I remember when I was a kid and my mom used to make this and I was like, Mom, what are these black dots all inside the food? Like, I thought they were bugs. I personally love them. I've made this recipe and taken it to work when we do potlucks and share foods, and it's about 50-50. Some people are like, oh, that was so good, and some people are like, nah, not a fan, you know? Everybody's not a fan of everything. That's why we have options. That's why there's many recipes out there. And you know what? Because I made more noodles, just go around, it's about 1.5 pounds. I'm just gonna add some more black dots, celery seed. Gonna add some more speckles in there. Probably about another 1/2 teaspoon. Again, because they're healthy and they taste good. In my personal opinion. Okay, and that's it, guys. It is that easy peasy. I'll be glad to add the recipe down below for you guys if you actually want to write it down. I'm going to transfer it into a Tupperware bowl that has a lid on it for me so I can take it to my mom's today. And I'm going to keep it in the fridge for 4 hours before we even go. It'll actually be in the fridge for 6 hours before we go. So there you go. Voila, just like that. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. And if you have a recommendation or a favorite summertime recipe you want to share, please share it with me. I love to always cook new ideas. Thank y'all. Have a blessed day.